All right, everybody, we are back. Yeah, the sports world is definitely buzzing right now with the playoffs in hockey, the playoffs in basketball. We got Major League Baseball. That show last week, I'm still buzzed about. I'm going to talk to my co-host about that, having Charlie on. That was pretty cool. But I want to introduce my men that are here with me. Right here, the CEO of the Sports Profits, Teddy Brooks. What's up, Teddy?
What's happening, boys? Excited to be here.
Did you get off that OJ high from last week?
I'm still watching that episode over and over. It was very
it's pretty cool, right?
intriguing.
When you have someone involved with somebody like that, right in the huddle, basically.
Very cool. And the thing is, I knew more about the LA story than I did about the Vegas stuff. I really didn't know anything about the Vegas stuff.
Yeah, well, that's what launched. That's what kind of put Charlie on the map, tied to OJ, and. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, I've known Charlie a long time. Never had a problem with Charlie. Charlie's a great guy. And
I actually went home Saturday night. I went to dinner with the family and stuff. I got home and I put on like the 3 or 4 hour Netflix. I think it was Netflix OJ documentary.
Yeah, it's out there. Well, we got to bring in, the superstar here, the big kahuna of OSB Sports, wearing it right on his head, the OSB hat. I don't know, man. Don't touch it. We don't want to get it dirty, Big Kahuna. Welcome back.
Thank you, my friend.
What's going on?
No, I got a lot of positive feedback on that show.
I thought you'd be at Dean's Gold that night.
Well, listen, we're gonna get into that.
Ben and I had a little bet going on.
We're gonna get into that, but no, Charlie was a great guest, and it's history. Regardless what you think might have happened in the LA thing, Vegas thing, it's part of history, and he pretty much was straight up and explained what happened that night. And, I thought it was a genuine interview that he really brought to the table.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's solid. I mean,
100%.
He knew OJ for a long time, and they were tight and so forth and so on. But, hey, as they say, it's the sports world for us today. We're going to try to talk about some things moving forward. I don't know if you watched that Panthers game last night, but that was something unbelievable.
I watched it to every drop. I was supposed to go to it. I actually had a good deal on Corona section, but I had to take my wife's car to the shop.
How much are they getting for Corona seats?
Scotty, let me tell you something. Corona, I remember about 4 years ago, for anyone that doesn't know,
explain to them what it is.
Corona section is free beer, free wine, free food,
the whole game.
They got tables. There's also regular seats that you can go into, but it's like a club almost.
Right.
And I remember before the Panthers really got hot, those Corona seats would go for $80.
They were giving them away.
Giving them away.
Right.
Then this regular season, they moved up big. They were, the 200 was the cheapest, and that was for not a good game on a weeknight. If they were playing the New York Rangers, they would be $300-400. Had an opportunity. I had to pass it up. I had some things going on, but I had an opportunity to get them for $200, which is really good for playoffs.
You missed a pretty special game last night, and that save by Bobrovsky on that. Did you see that save?
Bobrovsky is amazing.
I have a hard time saying it.
The Tampa Bay goalie Vasilevsky is amazing. They put on a show. The Panthers put up 40-plus shots against him, and he looked amazing too. But I think the Panthers we were discussing this before the show. I truly believe the Panthers are the better team. They're my pick to win it all. I picked them to win this series, minus 180, I think it was 170. Now it's minus 900. So,
well, Mr. Clutch for the Panthers too. Carter Verhaeghe, right? Am I saying it?
Yeah,
right.
Verhaeghe
gets that winning goal. I mean, what's that, like his sixth game-winning goal in overtime playoffs?
It's his sixth, and he's only one of 5 players.
Right, in the history of the league.
Yeah.
I pulled up that save, by the way.
Oh, let's see it.
You guys want to see it?
Oh, that was
yeah. Thank you, Ben.
They're calling
That's why we pay you the big bucks.
ESPN's calling it the save of the year.
Yeah.
Watch this one, Big Kahuna, right up your league. You got some volume with it?
Yeah, I can throw some volume.
But he turns around and grabs it with his glove.
Look at that.
Huge save.
I mean, he's just off balance.
The save of the playoffs so far, no question about that. Keeps this game.
Oh, that wasn't even the one.
Yeah, look at this one.
What about the one? Did you guys see the one where he got it with his leg?
Yeah,
I mean, those goalies were.
Yeah, they were on their A game last night.
They were acrobatic, yeah.
But that's what I love about playoff hockey, man. It's just that it takes it to a whole different level. I don't know if obviously you're watching the games.
I watched the games. A little disappointing what happened with the Bruins the other night.
I'll talk about that one. It's home.
Well, I put out the Bruins as a pick, actually.
They lost 3-2.
They lost 3-2, man.
Yeah, I know. I won 7 straight games in a row in my free pick, and I made the Bruins my would have been 8 in a row.
And the Knights aren't getting much respect from the Stars either. I mean, the Stars are the favorite right through. So I put the Stars out also, actually. But they're playing tonight, actually, Wednesday.
I think they won the first game, right? Well, don't forget, Vegas Knights are the champs. I mean, until they're knocked off, they're
the champs. They had a rough season, but they had a lot of injuries, and now they're healthy.
Oddsmakers aren't giving them much respect.
No respect.
They're big underdogs on every game. $1.40, $1.50.
Yeah, no respect.
What was the Panthers at the beginning of the series against Tampa? What was the price? Do you know?
It was series price. I just said it was minus
off the charts.
I just said it was minus 170 to 180, depending on the book. Now it's minus 900.
Okay. Well, you still got some of the key teams. The Rangers up 2-0. They won last night again. They're probably playing the easiest team in the league, Washington. So the Rangers look great. They're going to be tough. I mean, that building rocks like no other building in the world.
How about the Islanders blowing that lead, though?
Islanders are up 3-0 and lose. Well, Carolina, I think, is the favorite, right?
Carolina's the top dog. I think it's going to be Carolina, Florida, either one of those two to come out of the East.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, look how many good teams. I mean, you really have like 10 teams out of the 16 that have a shot.
You do.
Maybe like, more, but 10 at least.
Another really good series moving over to the West. This was my West prediction, was the Jets to beat the Avalanche in that series. The line's actually, the series is 1-1. Yep. Did you guys see that first game? They scored 10, 12 goals. I mean, it was just back and forth.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was 7-6 or something?
Yeah, something like that, 7-5. But the line on that series is still the same. I think that's going to be the best series to watch each game. If you guys are into watching hockey and you like hockey, the Avalanche and the Jets, it's a late night too. They're usually going to be playing like 9-10 at night because Colorado, Winnipeg. So that's going to be a really good series. But one thing that's surprising me so far, I really liked what I saw from Vegas. I guess it shouldn't surprise me, like you said, because they're the champs, but they really didn't have a good year.
No.
They were a wild card
like
team.
You mentioned, a lot of injuries.
But they were hurt, and now they're healthy. And
it takes, you got a hot goalie.
Yep.
That's the big spark in the NHL. But we got a lot of hot goalies right now. Look at these teams. I mean, like Borowski last night, unbelievable. Even Vasilevsky was unbelievable in a losing effort. But, you got a lot of these teams right now, that are playing. Even like Vancouver, I guess they switched their goalie out last night. Mm-hmm. So that series is now tied 1-1 with Nashville. I mean, there's just a lot of good things. I love NHL playoff hockey, guys. You really should experience it. The intensity level is amazing. I mean, regular season, it's a long season. But when they go to the playoffs, even the fans jack up.
I want to talk about something in that that Oilers-Predators game. I mean, the Canucks. It was Canucks-Predators. So
yeah.
That line, it was minus 160 Canucks.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it dropped to minus 130. And Billy the Beard, you guys know Billy, came into my office and he said, "Teddy, we got something." And I said, "What do we got?" He said, "This line just moved big time." He said, "I'm all over the Predators." So I was actually able to give that play out thanks to Billy the Beard to some of my clients last minute.
Shout out to Billy the
Beard. So
guys,
watch for those big line movements. If you see those big line movements and you can't really figure out why, watch out for them. It could be a player that they announce isn't going to be starting or something like that. And a lot of times when those lines move big, it's a good chance to get a nice little dog. So if you have a favorite that's minus 160, 170, 180, and you see that sucker drop to 120, 130, 140, it's a good opportunity to take a shot on the underdog on that one and make some money because the dogs have to win sometimes, right? You got to. There's ways
of course,
to make money betting dogs.
I mean, look at these series right now. You got the Rangers up 2-0. They're dominating. You got Carolina up 2-0. Panthers up 2-0. I think a great series is the one that's going to be played tonight. Is the Bruins and Toronto. I think that series could drag on. That's going to be a tough series. The third game now tonight is in Toronto. Toronto, they have about a 115 favorite.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Toronto can beat Boston tonight. I know everyone thinks, well, Boston has to come back and win it. Well, it's not so easy to just come back and win it. You're going against a team that's jacked up, and they're going to be in their building with their fans going nuts
And
tonight.
you're going to another country. So the Panthers actually play the winner of that series. Who do you think the Panthers would rather play?
Just on past history, I think they'd rather definitely play Toronto.
Toronto, yep. I would say
Because
that.
it seems like the Bruins, can fight with them, the cats and dogs. But like I said, Toronto, they're no laydown by any stretch.
No, they're not.
They're a good, solid team. And, looking at just these other matchups, you got Edmonton up 1-0 against the LA Kings. Edmonton, obviously, got the best player in the league, McDavid, excuse me.
Connor McDavid.
Connor McDavid.
Not the fighter.
I'm thinking of Conor McGregor, the fighter.
I love the Oilers. I mean, they're minus 400. It's obviously a lot of chalk, but you can start to look at some of these. I have a question. I meant to ask you guys last show, but we really were rushed and we didn't have a lot of time. You may or may not know the answer. I haven't tried it, so I don't know the answer. Can you parlay series winners? Like, could I parlay the Panthers to win the series and
I think that's the big kahunas
the
question.
Oilers to win the series?
That's a very good question.
Not many people do that.
I
do they?
haven't heard that before. I imagine there are books that will take that. I think you could parlay basically anything. I mean, some books don't want you to do same game parlays, but if it's two different series, I don't see a problem with that. I mean, there's so many different things you could bet right now. It's absolutely nuts what's out there on the board. If you just look at this, it's off the charts. But yeah, I that's a good question. I'll look into that. But
we want the answer, Big
I'm
Kahuna.
gonna go on to a couple apps
There
right
you
now
go,
and
right
try
now.
it. Yeah.
Hey, listen, I want to just change it up a little bit. Did you guys get a chance to watch that fight on Saturday night with Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia?
I fell asleep.
Watch that fight?
I that's past my bedtime, but I heard obviously 5-1 came through, and Teddy came across the wire that he actually bet himself on that fight.
Yeah.
$2 million.
So Ryan Garcia went on Patrick Bet David. You know who Patrick Bet David? You kind of look like Patrick Bet David, actually. He's a big time podcaster. Big time. He lives in the Isles in Las Olas, actually.
All right.
Yeah.
Very successful guy. He does like an entrepreneur podcast, but he does everything. He has mafia guys, he has politicians, all that stuff. And Ryan Garcia said that the majority of what he did the last 6 months was all an act to get higher odds to bet on himself.
So he's manipulating. He was like the stock market.
He was,
manipulation.
and there's no regulations against that. So what he did was completely legal, and he took advantage of the system.
You know what? When you step in the ring, you step in the ring.
He made more money on the bet than the fight.
I don't know about that. Did he?
$10 million. I don't know how much he made on the fight. It's
don't
probably
think-
close.
He probably did. You know, the funny thing
don't
is
think
he didn't make weight, so he doesn't win the championship. It still stays with Haney, obviously. Now there's a rematch. I'm sure that something's going to come up to have a rematch that's going to be worth mega money. And then, if the next fight goes to Haney's way, then we got another probably rematch coming the other way. So this could be a $50-60 million
And there's
trilogy.
always Gervonta Davis.
And
in the
who
mix.
Tank Davis.
Did Golden Boy promote that?
He was
Yeah.
one of the promoters, yes. He represents Garcia.
Another funny thing that people may not know, Garcia was in communication the whole time with guess who? Money Mayweather.
There you go.
And Money Mayweather, Garcia's claims, and this is kind of going around too, that Mayweather was the one that told him not to try to make weight. He said, don't try to make weight, just win this fight. So it makes me wonder. I wonder how much Mayweather had on the fight.
Oh, I'm sure Floyd, he likes to dabble.
He likes to
we
dabble.
We all know about his gambling dabble.
But he's been low key lately. You haven't heard much about Mayweather. You haven't seen him in sport. He used to walk up to sports books, $2 million in a briefcase.
He's a grandfather now.
Oh, so maybe he's mellowed out a bit.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he's still betting.
I'm sure he's doing a lot of things.
Just keeping it under wraps a little more.
You really haven't heard. If I could just jump for a second, I mean, this is all good stuff, but I mean, all last week, the hype, Caitlin Clark, the new NBA star, WNBA star, people were saying, oh, she's only making $65,000-70,000 a year. She signed a $28 million contract with a major, was it Nike, I believe?
I'm not sure. I was asking.
But, I mean, that's where
I know it was a big contract.
That's where the money's going to be. I mean, people saying, all right, she's making $70K a year, but what about $28 million? Portnoy from Barstool thinks she undersold herself. That's a lot of money. It's an 8-year contract. That's $3-4 million a year. I mean, that's big bucks, though. However,
for men, it's peanuts, but.
Well, she's on, let's face it, in all due respect here, she's unproven, all right? She's going into a new league. She's going from college to the WNBA. You don't know.
She'll be fine.
You don't know her how long she's going to be in this league. Hey, it's a lot of money no matter what.
Anybody who can shoot like that is going to be around. Trust me.
I think what really we need to see, everyone's talking about Caitlin Clark. Everyone's making a big deal, and I said it too. I I never watched women's basketball before. I turned her on. I was glued. But here's the thing. If you look at the WNBA numbers, they're terrible. The WNBA is alive and survives because it gets subsidized by the NBA. The NBA actually, basically, it's like the WNBA is like the kid that never gets a job, and the parents just keep taking care of him.
Keep funneling.
Yeah, that's kind of how the NBA and the WNBA are. So will she actually change that? Will she bring enough viewers, enough fans, enough merchandise sales to make the WNBA sustainable on its own?
Well, if the college indication shows it, I would say yes, because she sparked the interest so much to the highest ratings ever on college women's games, and she was involved in both of them.
Getting back to the Masters, I saw an unbelievable
You're
stat.
jumping all over, big corner.
Playing hopscotch over here,
what's going
Tommy.
on?
No, but let me.
What are we doing here?
Let me finish. Women betting activity for the Masters went through the roof.
For the
betting the Masters.
Okay.
So they're saying women betting is on the rise. I came out with that 2 years ago when the biggest growth of the U.S. market is women.
Okay.
And it's actually starting to come about now.
But we've seen that. We've seen that tendency going up. And now with this back to Caitlin Collins once again for a
Clark.
minute. Excuse me. I'm having my mix-ups on names today, guys. I apologize. But Caitlin Clark brought an interest not only for the female bettors like we talked about. She took, so much interest from females getting involved in watching these games and obviously betting on the games. So that's why she's worth the type of money.
But will it continue with, like, one person can't hold the league up? That's what I'm saying. So,
well, not necessarily. Come on. I mean, think about it. I mean, Magic and Bird took the league. Then it went to Jordan. They passed the torch. And really, since Jordan, LeBron,
but you got a lot of other personalities, too.
Well, there's a lot of surrounding cast, great players. But one name, think about it, carries
I think
the league.
Where you probably saw that more than anywhere was Tiger Woods in golf. I mean, Tiger Woods really elevated golf to another level. So will Caitlin Clark be the Tiger Woods of women's basketball? Speaking of golf, since we're playing hopscotch and Tommy brought up the Masters,
girl that won the five?
You got two very impressive golfers, both at the peaks of.
Oh my God!
You got Nelly Korda in the women's.
Unbelievable.
You got
5 in a row.
Scotty Scheffler won again.
4 out of 5.
His
right?
odds. You mentioned this, Scott. His odds in the Masters, they were, plus 400 is
lowest.
very low for a golf tournament. He was plus 400 again in the last tournament, and he cleaned up and won it by, 3-4 strokes. So
the guy's like zone. Hey, it's like anything else. When you see players zoned in, you see a quarterback zoned in, you see certain things they zone in. I mean, you just carry the momentum. It just takes you to a whole different plateau.
What was I saw 8,000 to 1, which I guess 80 to 1 that he wins the next 4 major tournaments.
That's going to be.
He's won 2 already, so I think
he's won 1.
He's won 1.
There's 3 left.
All right.
So for him to win 3, 80 to 1. But if you think about it, that's low. That's low odds. The one that I really probably don't see him winning is the one in Europe, the one in
the British Open.
They call it the Open now, but because that's like a different golfer that usually wins.
You got wind coming off. That's serious weather out there. I mean,
I think we'll stick you over there, Big Kahuna,
I'll
to do the
go.
reports over there.
Hey, I'll go, man.
You like traveling.
You got to send me first class, though, man.
I'm sending you. You're going to send all of us. Come on now. What is this sending you? But I'll tell you, there's just so much going. We haven't even touched base yet on the NBA, which is going on right now. I know Teddy's not the biggest fan of the NBA, but it's still part of the betting product.
It is.
We like to give advice.
It's a lot chalkier than hockey, though.
Yeah.
You know, the NBA, it's like
A lot of low-scoring games, though. What's up with all this, though?
It's changed up big time.
I mean, I'm seeing totals 202, 205, and they're going under.
Yep.
What happened to?
I'll tell you what
happened.
happened.
What happened to 240 points in an NBA game?
So,
They must have got to the refs.
what's the guy's name? Not David Stern. I always say David Stern.
Silver.
Adam Silver.
Adam Silver.
He actually put out a statement. This was a couple months ago that he wants the game. And I don't know if it was a private statement that got leaked or if it was a public statement, but he wants the game not to go back to the 90s, but he doesn't like where it's going.
Physical? He wants it more
He
physical?
wants it to be a little bit more physical, not crybaby fouls on every shot. I mean, when I talk about not loving the NBA, in 2004, 5, 6, I loved betting the NBA. It was a different sport back then. But how things change. I mean, you used to look at totals in the NBA. 210 was a high total. Now you see 240s, right? So I think what they're going to do is try to make it so that it goes back a little bit to that 90s, early 2000s style of basketball, where there's not as many fouls called, where they let them play a little bit, they let them be a little bit more physical, they really punish them for flopping. Yeah. And I think it's going to help the league. Their thought was, more scoring.
Well, because you could blow the whistle on every play. Every single play could be a foul. Mm-hmm. Every single play could be a travel in basketball. I mean, if you want to blow the whistle, you could just keep blowing it all. So you got to let it go. You got to pick and choose the spots because you could constantly keep blowing the whistle that there's a foul, offensive, defensive, whatever the case may be, and so forth and so on. So I agree with you. That he probably wants it. He probably wants a more physical type of game, and that's why you're seeing these scores. Not because he wants it, but it seems like they're playing tighter. Playoffs, the intensity level we all know from our experiences go up. And when it comes to playoff basketball,
they're going to play better defense. They're going to play stronger.
That's what it is.
So the totals are naturally, like you said, they're going to be
low totals.
Same thing in hockey. In hockey, if you look, they're all 5.5. So hockey,
they went down from 6.5.
Usually, hockey totals are 6.5. Like tonight, they're all 6. But tomorrow, you got 5.5, 5.5, 6. So you're going to see a lot more 5.5s than you used to. 100%.
I want to just get your guys' opinion. I'm sure you guys know. I'm looking at these series. Obviously, Boston's up 1-0. The Knicks are up 2-0. You see any surprise team that could get through the first round? I mean, any upset that you see in these series? The Knicks are up 2-0. Milwaukee 1-1 against the Pacers. I think the Pacers can handle Milwaukee, especially if Giannis doesn't play, because we obviously saw the Pacers could win on Milwaukee's court. Let's see what happens when they go back to Indiana. I think Indiana could be a win in that series. The series is tied. Cleveland's up 2-0. Do you see anything either on the East or the West that could be a surprise that may occur in the first round of the playoffs?
I mean, I don't think the Bucks winning are going to be a surprise. So they're tied, right?
No, I don't like the Bucks. I like the other side.
Right, I like the Bucks in that series at plus 105. What's the series? Is it 1-1 or 1-0?
It's 1-1 now.
Yeah,
Pacers won last night.
So I like the Bucks in that one. As far as surprises, you don't really see it.
It's chalky, right?
Yeah, it is very chalky.
I mean, especially the two number ones.
Yeah.
The two number ones, like even look at
the Magic has never gone far in years. So I mean, the Cavs are expected. I predicted Denver. Not that you got to be a brain surgeon, but the Lakers may win one.
Let me tell you something. The Lakers have given them a chance.
They should
have won that game the other night.
Yeah, but
you watched that game?
I didn't, but I saw the clips of LeBron crying about it.
The Lakers. There you go. Big fan of LeBron's over here, huh?
Hey, LeBron, this could be his last year, man.
Yeah, we say that. We've been saying that
Well,
for
he's
how many years now?
His guy's going to be almost 40 years
He
old.
wants to play until his kid comes into the league.
Yeah, but Bronny may not be NBA caliber. They're saying,
right?
He
there's no guarantee on that.
Exactly. It's not like he's being number one draft or anything.
No. He's transferring.
He's in a development.
Porthole,
he's in a development type of situation.
Yeah. He's not. He's not his dad, and it usually works out like that.
Yeah.
Here's one thing that interests me. I love the Knicks. I thought the Knicks were getting no respect with the first game. They're only 3-point favorites. Now it was close. They only won by 5 or 6 in that one.
Yeah.
The second one, they were 4 or 5 point favorites.
You saw the ending on that game,
and they only won
I
by 3.
heard there was a mini riot outside the Garden the other night in the city.
But here's what surprises me
at the Knicks game.
Why? What happened?
Well, what happened is just New York fans got totally crazy
because they're up 2-0.
Yeah,
they're already counting the.
Yeah,
they're moving on.
Like you said, you want to talk about intensity. Go to either a hockey or basketball game at the Garden in the city.
Love it.
You're not going to find a more.
Tommy, did I tell you about the riot when we were all in New York last year for the conference, for the sports betting conference?
I was in the middle of that.
Me
actually,
too.
Also,
I was walking home from the conference.
I was right near the Garden.
So you were probably
night.
close to me too.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And I walked out.
The Heat.
The Heat were playing the Knicks, and the Knicks won. Yeah. The Knicks won, and they let the fans out as I was walking from where they dropped us off back to my hotel, and I just got slammed.
Yep.
I'm happy I was wearing a dress shirt and jeans.
I don't know where I was walking.
Not a Heat shirt.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
You got to be careful when you. Hey, listen. You walk into a hornet's nest. You got to be careful what you're walking into.
But here's a line that surprises me. The Knicks are up 2-0, and they're only minus 450 to win the series. Let's look at the hockey game. The Panthers are up 2-0, and they're minus 900 to win the series.
Oh, 450 is still chalky.
I mean,
it's not that chalky.
But it's not that chalky for all they have to do is win 2 out of 5 games.
What he's trying to say is the Panthers in the same 7-game series, and the other is double the price.
Yeah.
So they feel they're going to absolutely go through. Where the Knicks may have a shot of not going through, but I don't think I don't see the other side beating
your head examined
4 out of 5,
playing 9-1, but that's another.
Well, that's why I asked if you could parlay them, because a lot of people, especially I don't really love doing this, but a lot of people I talk to that are just getting into sports betting, they love taking 4 or 5 huge juice moves and parlaying them all down to even money.
Right.
They love doing that.
And on the money line, not even the point
spread.
Right.
So they'll play 4 minus 400s and try to get it down to minus 130.
Let me ask you think the Lakers come back home in the third game and give them a W for the fans?
I don't know. Not unless, I hate to use the F word, but not unless there's some kind of referee fixing going involved to extend the series for ratings.
Why? It's only 2-0. It's a best of 7.
Why don't I think they're going to win one? Oh, because Denver's just that much better, I think.
What's your thoughts? You think the Lakers win a game in this series?
Win, maybe not. Cover, yeah.
So you don't think they're going to win a game?
I could see them getting swept.
Really?
I do like a cover. I was looking at those lines, and I actually like a Heat cover tonight. 14 points, 14.5 points is a lot. It's a lot of points.
But they're running into a stone brick house.
They are, and they don't have Jimmy Butler, I guess, so I get it. But, I mean, Denver is...
And that Porzingis is a huge piece for the Celtics.
He is.
I mean, he adds just a tremendous weapon on top of Brown and Tatum and all the other shooters the Celtics have. I mean, it's just going to be tough.
Guys, have you looked at the odds in the Lakers-Nuggets game? Do you know what they are? I didn't know this. I'm shocked.
On what, Game 3 or?
Yeah.
Or in general?
They're tomorrow night's game. So some books have the Lakers favored by 1.
Yeah.
And some books have Denver favored by 1. 58% of the public money is on L.A.
Well, if the Lakers blew over 30-point lead they had going into the second half on both of these games.
That does a lot to a team, though.
I mean, think about it. 30 points between both games. They were ahead going into the second half of the game, and they lost both of them.
That demoralizes a team.
And to lose at the buzzer the way they lost that shot.
I think LeBron was literally crying.
Hey, listen,
I'd cry also.
Yeah, well, listen, when you put it all out there, man, it's tough.
Now talk about tomorrow lines. Philly is favored over the Knicks by 4.5 points.
Well, they got to win. You got to figure they got to win one game.
They have to win.
I'm kind of surprised the Knicks are up 2-0 on that series.
Why?
But
they won at home. They
yeah,
covered.
all right, but Philly, I say Philly
The
wins.
Knicks were a better team.
Philly's probably a good bet tomorrow to at least win one. But who the hell knows, man? I mean,
Joel Embiid needs to start playing a little bit better. He needs to play a little bit more inside basketball.
That's another issue.
In the first game, he took, I think it was 10
was
threes. I think it was 10 threes he took in the first game. Like, they're not going to win with him taking all those threes. Maxey actually just got the most improved player of the year.
Yeah, Maxey's he was a key piece of if he didn't have the season he had, Philly might not even made the playoffs.
I think my favorite bet for tomorrow though is the Magic to win that game
At home.
Yeah,
What's the line on that game?
just 2.
2 points?
Minus 130 on the money line.
they're going to win any game. It has to be that one.
First game at home.
1,000%. Yeah, you get on 0-3, you might as well call it a day.
Yeah.
But the sports books have been cleaning up in the playoffs so far with both leagues, I think, for the most part. A lot of home favorites started out winning. The first night, I think, 8-0 for the home favorites for the higher seeds.
It was the NHL was 6-0 the first night,
Yeah.
and the
NBA was 8-0 the first 2 nights.
Oh, was it the first 2 nights?
Yeah, because there's not 8 games in one.
Right.
In one, but yeah, for the weekend, 8-0. So the sports books got clobbered, but they always make it back.
I wouldn't feel so sad for them. I mean, trust me, I'm
He
sure
doesn't
that.
feel sad for the books.
No,
What's up
I
with
mean
this
the
guy?
books because
What's the
people.
matter?
Well,
They're not entitled to make?
because
A little?
they're making tons of money on parlay bettors, and favorites win is not good for them. But there's people betting all crazy stuff right now. So
Well, probably a lot of action is probably on player props this time of the year as well.
Yeah.
A lot of action on
playoffs-
player props.
Yeah.
The future of player props is in the balance with what was the guy's name? Jonte.
Yeah, from
The
Toronto.
guy he got banned from the NBA for life.
Dante Porter.
Now, what Garcia did was legal, and Jonte Porter's brother just got sentenced to like 10 years for like a DUI manslaughter or something crazy. Bad time for that family. But with what Garcia did, now that's going to raise questions. Like, can fighters just start betting on themselves? And
There's been fighters betting on themselves for years.
I mean, I'm sure there have, but
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Things are different now with legalization. Everything's on the spotlight.
What about the management? What about the trainers behind the fighter?
Yeah, I'm sure they all bet them, yeah.
You don't think they're jumping on the bandwagon too, thinking their guy's right?
Now, him betting on himself, they say, is fine. But if he tells his buddy to bet, does that cross a line?
On himself?
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, it's a one-on-one sport. You're not. It's you against me.
Who
right?
wouldn't?
That's
Who wouldn't?
it.
I think
If
they all tell their friends.
But I'm saying,
If I tell my
it's like-
buddies I feel I'm going to win, bet on me. Am I doing anything wrong?
No, I think they all do
Doing
that.
nothing wrong.
I think every single one of them. I
Good.
think their friends are already betting on them. Like if you were friends
You
with,
know they got egos anyways. These guys.
yeah. I mean, we're in the podcast junkie studio here, and a lot of fighters come into this studio. So I'm sure Ben is friends with some of them. Our producer, I'm sure he slams bets on the guys that come in here.
That's why he's got the fancy Lambo parked in front. I said, "How do you afford that Lambo?" He looked at me and just walks away. What's going on, Ben, with the Lambo? You never answered. Is it because you're getting all those UFC insights?
It's because I'm listening to the OSB podcast.
Ah,
There you go.
Good answer.
Kudos.
That's
kudos.
what you call the right answer.
I think he wants to go to Dean's Gold with us so bad. That's it. He's going to say anything he can to get down there with Christian and VIP it all the way.
VIP section.
Yeah, they don't want. They want to hang out with. They want to
Hey,
hang out.
if the Big Kahuna's going, we'll be there.
yeah.
They want to hang out with the Big Kahuna after hours,
Yeah,
not
after
during
hours.
hours.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, after hours.
All right, well, guys, listen. We got some more stuff to talk about, but anything on your mind you want to discuss pertaining to?
No, I
the
really
sports
wanted to
world
talk
and-
about that Ryan Garcia thing, so I'm glad we got that covered. No, I'm on the hunt to see if you can parlay series bets. That's like my topic here. I didn't actually try it yet, so we got a few minutes left. I'm going to try that while you guys chat.
All right, what's up on your mind, Big Kahuna?
Well, it's a lot going on here. I mean,
Outside the sports world,
well,
inside the sports world.
Yeah, well, Kentucky Derby's coming up. I was just invited,
All right.
not to the Derby, but down in Gulfstream, they have a big
Shindig.
and a buddy of mine's VIP there, so we're going to have our own table and all. And I think it's going to be a good day. I'm not a horse guy, but I'm going to go down there and check it out. Nothing like the Derby.
My wife and I have been trying to do. She's actually brought up to me for probably over 20 years now on our bucket list to go to the actual Derby for the running of the Roses.
I'm surprised you've never gone.
I've been invited by Caesar so many times, but it seems like such a cluster. Because there's so many. But the way they do it, it makes it really good because you get the VIP and you're in the box and the whole nine. You're not out in the open with 100,000 people. So yeah, I'm definitely going to take it up. But I think it's definitely a bucket list thing. I put on this year going to the Tuscaloosa to Alabama football game. Guys, if you've never been, like I said, to a game in Alabama, college football game, you really got to check it out. It's phenomenal. Just an unbelievable vibe. So there's a lot of things out there. A lot of guys, want to go to Fenway Park or Wrigley Field on their bucket list. Anything on your bucket list? Sports-wise?
Sports-wise, I would love to, for one college football season, hit like 10 different huge big school games.
I think you mentioned that. Yeah.
Tuscaloosa being one of them. Maybe Michigan, the Blue House, whatever the hell they call it.
The Big House.
The Big House. Yeah, that would be. I think that would be really cool.
How about flying across the pond to see a premier soccer game in London?
You've been talking about that
one.
Our
boy TK. We were supposed to go. I'm still waiting for his to show up.
Yeah.
But no, that would be I love soccer, and going to, I hear, a premier European soccer game would be the ultimate in my opinion.
That's on your bucket list.
That is 100%. I'm just going to get on a plane.
Stroke a check, man, and go.
No, it's not. I mean, tickets are pricey. I hear good tickets are at least $600. But hey, you fly over there, you get a hotel for a few days in London.
It's $600. You spent that at Dean's Gold the other night.
Dean's
I
heard.
They told me your check was so big, it was the number one check in there.
I went home. I had to take a shower after that. So this is,
What,
cold,
you were
cold
sweating?
shower.
You were sweating? What happened?
I have an answer, guys. I'm on
Hold
the
on. We're
I'm
jumping again.
Right.
We're going from Dean's to the odds.
Well, I've been working on it. I'm on the Hard Rock app right now. I don't know. I can't speak for everyone.
All right.
And I hate to plug the Hard Rock because you know how I
Don't
feel
plug
about
them. Just tell
you know
them.
how I feel about Florida and the Seminoles. But you can parlay
Well, you could bet anything.
future conference series
You
winners.
could parlay,
right. Do you have any you would parlay right now? Since you're bringing it up, you might as well let the
Knicks. I put the Knicks, the Panthers, and the Oilers to win their series.
These series right now?
These series right now in a three-team parlay. One's minus 500, one's minus 900, the other one's minus 375.
Okay.
And when you put them all together, you get minus 145.
Did you do that? Did you do that prior, or are you doing it now?
No, I'm just talking about it right now.
Right now. Okay.
I just built a little parlay there.
Okay.
So
what's $100 get you back?
it's minus 145. So 100 gets you back.
Oh, minus 145. Okay.
100 gets you back 68 profit.
All right.
There you go.
What do you think?
I
wouldn't. Is it worth the risk though? Do you think?
Probably not, but you know how our viewers love parlaying. Gotta give them some love.
I think what we got to do on the next show is we got to give out something prior to the series starting. Hopefully, the time frame when we.
Well, I did that on the last show. I gave out the Panthers and the Jets. The Jets are tied 1-1.
Okay.
The Panthers are 2-0. So I gave out I gave my picks,
All right.
guys. All right.
Yeah, I didn't do anything.
I gave my picks.
Yeah, I want to get back.
I squeezed them in really quick because Charlie took up most of the episode, which I loved.
Hey,
I'm happy about.
We're thinking of bringing him back with two of the hottest girls that work in this club, and they're going to come on the show. So we might get a little.
My wife's going to love that one.
Well, we'll keep them on this side. We'll keep them right with the big kahuna. But I'm thinking we're thinking actually in talks with
I think
Dean's Gold to try to do something.
I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great idea.
Instead of letting the Vic Kahuna, take the fancy car down to the club, we'll bring the club here.
We'll bring the club
Almost like remember the movie The Night of Roxbury? He says we're going to make
there's already a bar in the studio.
Yeah.
I don't know how much. I know Christian gets those free bottles.
We're going to start serving some drinks here also.
I've seen him post those
Loosen
free
up a
bottles.
little.
He doesn't offer us any.
There you go.
Yeah, what's Christian got over? He's got like all the best stuff.
He
the
gets
Blue
free
Label,
liquor from one of his. Oh, I know why. Because it's another podcaster that brings him the free liquor. So we don't bring him anything for free. So he's like, why am I going to share that with you?
We don't bring him shit, he says. Ben's having a hard time. Ben's like asking us what's going on. Why, no dinners, no nightlife, nothing with you guys. We got a big Kahuna.
Well, the big obstacle is I would love to bring the crew to New York Prime, but what are we going to do with Christian if we do that? Because he's a vegan. So
he'll watch
Dang.
it. Christian, you're going to have to watch us. You'll have to have the asparagus.
What could vegans eat?
We'll get you an order of asparagus.
What is vegan? Just vegetables?
Just vegetables. That's it. That's
All
good.
right, so get the cauliflower or something.
Yeah, the
All right, guys. Wow. We've touched it all today. I got to be honest with you. We definitely touched it all.
My legs are sore from all the hopscotch we've been playing here.
Listen,
Hopping around from topic to
it's
topic.
all right, though. I like it. I like the style. Sometimes you got to loosen it up.
By the way, guys, just so everybody knows, there was and I'm putting full blame on the Big Kahuna. There was a scheduling mishap. We were supposed to have Serena, who was a guest on the show before. The Big Kahuna dropped the ball. I got to throw it out there.
She shot me down, and I said, "Uh-oh, what's going
Yeah, but
on here?"
look, we're here. We're having a good time. We got the boys. We got everything.
But Serena's a good host. I'm gonna reach out to her, and we'll
At the end of the day, Teddy, is anyone going to be better when it comes to breaking down these games than the guys that are in? Like
No,
us?
there's not.
But
I
Serena
love
knows her hockey.
part
she
of
knows
my
her hockey.
Hold on, this is important. Clip this. Part of my business is communicating with other experts in the field, sometimes more expertise than me, which is why we bring on people like Serena and why we brought on my favorite, Barry, who
Barry was cool. He wants to come
nailed
back
it.
again.
All right.
He's up in Binghamton freezing his ass off right now. He says it's cold in upstate New York still.
he should have waited a little bit longer before he left.
But shout out to Serena. Cats and Bolts is their podcast.
Cats and Bolts podcast, which
Yeah.
is also filmed in this studio. Great podcast. So hopefully we can get her back on next week. If not, I'm going to have to take over the communication from Tommy D.
I'm ready to put some plays out next week. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready. All right, guys, listen, we had a really, really good show today. I'm telling you, I'm jacked up. I'm fired up. I'm going to probably go eat some good dinner right after the show at the Big Kahuna. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it, man. Our favorite place. Let's plug out there. Lemongrass. Great Thai food right here in Boca Raton, Florida.
Ben's going to ask you for dinner now. Oh, boy, I see it on his face. All right, listen, guys, I'm going to throw it over to Big Teddy. Tell the people where they can find you. Obviously, you know his history. He has been doing a great job with his plays.
I have, and I will say, I'm very honest about my plays, and I love talking about the losses because they happen less often than the wins. We have dropped the last 4 in a row.
Oh, God.
But it's okay because we're still 68.5% on the year. We're 68.5% on the year.
Huge. For free, though.
87, 40, and 3 in our last 130 games. 68.5%.
The man keeps track of his games. But
Instagram, _profits with an S_pick, no S, thesportsprofits.com, and then youtube.com/@thesportsprofits. Make sure you go to all of them.
all right. And before we do the next week's show, you're going with the Panthers to win this series, correct?
I gave it out when they were only -170. Now they're -100. So yeah, I am. Now the real interesting bet. I'm still going with the Jets. They were +140 when I gave them out. They're still +140 right now. Colorado beat them last night, but I still like Winnipeg to take that series.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I know you're excited about this. Here he is, the one and only Big Kahuna. Tell the people where they can find you. And all your
first
stuff.
of all, we hit a milestone at OSB Sports. We hit 20,000 followers on Instagram. And I didn't buy them from India or some other place like that. This is legitimate stuff, so we're proud about that. Check us out at OSB_sports, YouTube, OSB-sports, our website, onlinesportsbet.com.
20,000.
20,000.
Can you imagine?
20 mil Espanol.
We got to get it up to 200,000 sooner than
I'm
you
working
could.
on it.
Scotty, the Senate officially banned TikTok.
Did they?
They passed the bill, so now they either need to
might
sell
not
it
be
or
here
get
next
shut
week.
down. So what are you going to do?
Someone's going to walk in and buy that.
I might have to find a new job, guys. If anyone out there is looking for somebody, please reach out to me.
Someone's going to buy that.
Probably.
Yeah, it's all set up, in my opinion.
Probably.
All
I
right,
think
guys.
so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, we had a great show today. I'm Scott Matthews. I host this great show with these two guys each and every week. It's the OSB Sports Podcast. You can find me on TikTok. Hopefully, you can find me on TikTok at SMPicks, PICKS, and on Instagram, my handle is SM Sports Picks. we have been on fire. If you're following my free stuff, 7-1 in my last 8, 14-4 over the last 18, which is some good winning results. And again, just check our show out each and every week on all podcast forums. And I mean all of them. Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever this podcast, this show will be on. So take a look, take a listen. We will be back here next week. Have a great week, guys. Enjoy the NHL playoffs, enjoy the NBA, enjoy the baseball. We'll see you here next week.
Right, great show.